Yeah, let's definitely dive into that because I feel like some may not know, and in itself is kind of a big part of the story.
Yeah, so look, one of the solutions, in some sense the simplest one, is that the reason we have not seen any signs of other intelligent civilizations is simply because there are none in our galaxy. We are alone. We are alone in the galaxy, so no wonder we have not seen signs for other civilizations. And then the question is, why are there no others? And this is where the suggestion of the great filter has been suggested. And the idea is that there is some obstacle that somehow prevents civilizations from becoming, highly technological civilizations. And once you suggest that, there are of course also two possibilities. One is that filter has been in our past, or that it is in our future. Now, what can be a filter, for example? Just simple examples. Maybe the filter is the origin of life. Maybe the origin of life is just so rare that, it almost never happens, and we just happen to, somehow succeed where everybody else has followed. In that case, the filter in this example would be in our past, that, we somehow miraculously passed that great filter, but we may be a very rare occasion, or even maybe the only, civilization, technological civilization is the Milky Way. And this is why we haven't seen anybody else. There is also a possibility that the filter is in the future, namely that at some point in our future, for example, we will cause some incredible pandemic that, will destroy all civilizations, and maybe that's the fate of all civilizations in some sense. So, which again would make it perhaps impossible to advance to progress to something really advanced, and so on. So this is the situation with a great filter, either a great filter in our past or a great filter in our future. Now, what we, Martin Rees and I, suggest in this article is that maybe it's actually very different. And, I'm sure we will talk about this more, but we suggest that the searches we have conducted so far actually miss the point, because the civilizations that maybe exist out there are very, very different from the way we think about civilizations.
So, staying on the great filter here for 1 second, do you think there's a possibility of there being multiple great filters? So filters that maybe are at the birth of a civilization, one that maybe meets at some point in, the ancient period of humanity, whatever it might be, a pandemic, a disease, and then something that we may be entering now, which I think dives into what we'll continue to talk about, but the development of artificial intelligence. Is that a possibility as well?
Well, the artificial intelligence I don't regard as a filter. I regard that more as, a real change in our thinking, that maybe our searches have been misguided, but that's not a filter. But there can be multiple filters. I mean, I mentioned origin of life, but, it could be, on Earth, for example, it took more than 3 billion years to advance from unicellular life to multicellular life. So that is perhaps a great filter, which in many other places maybe did not work. Or, for speaking about filters in our future, okay, maybe there is some form of nuclear war or whatever, so that civilizations destroy themselves. So that's another possibility of a filter. So definitely there can be multiple filters in the evolution of any civilization. Now, the artificial intelligence that we suggest in our article is not a filter. It just really, we try to explain that maybe we have been completely misguided in the way we think about the problem, and we try to look for alien civilizations.